Hello everyone, it's Dixanta Bahadur Shrestha. Today I'm gonna help you learn dynamic array. As you all know, Java's array Java's array is always a fixed length array. So today I'm gonna help you learn. Today I'm gonna show you how to make a dynamic array that can expand itself and shrink itself. So let's start. So I'm gonna make a source file, right? And then there will be another folder called build, and inside there you can write a folder called classes. So inside the source folder we have a base package com.pt as project. So basically this is our base package, right? There we add our program.java file, right? So let's declare the package com.cibt.project. We're specifying our base package where our program.java file is actually we have it added. So let's write a class program, and then let's add a static method. So as we all know, if we define an array of integer, for example, arr equals new int, right? So, and then we must define the size of the array. Either way, if you define this way or if you define the other way, same thing. So doing this one, the advantage of this is, like we can predefine the values for associated arrays. Let me print that out. Int, or let's say for inti in arr, then in arr print I. So let's compile the file. Java C source path is src, and then our destination path is build/classes, and then the compiled path is com.cibt.project.program.java. So once we compile, the compiled classes will be inside the build classes, right? So then we can write a Java dash class path we need to declare. So that is actually inside the build/classes, and then com.cibt.project.program. So these are the values that it actually display. So now, this is one simple example, right? So what if I define my integer size with 0? If we define integer 0, we cannot actually store any values. For example, arr, if we make it 0 equals to 10, and let's see what happens. The result will be array out of bound index, because to use this index, at least there must be the value, the length of the integer, the length of the array must be 1, right? Then only that will accept and print it out. So there is no problem. Now, how to make this array dynamic, right? So to do that one, what we're gonna do is we're gonna create one class. Let's say in a different package, we can create our separate the package. We can create the util. Over there, we can design, let's say, dynamic list.java, right? So let's define the package com.util, that's the base package, and then com public class dynamic list. Right. This is where actually we define our variable private int array, and then arr equals to new int, right? So let's define a method called add, and we pass the parameter of n, and let's say if the size of the int array, the length, is equals to 0. If the size is 0, what we know is we need to increment by 1. So array equals to new int 1. Because what we know is none of the values has been stored into that array. And ARR 0 equals to that n value that we can add, right? So let's write another helper method, right? Public int size, and let's see what will be the size of the array after storing one value. Length. So let's import the class, or we can directly do that. Dynamic list equals to new dynamic list, and let's print out the value list.size. So when we print this value, it must return 0 no matter whatever the case is. So let's see, size is 0, right? So let's make another file as well, right? So we are running the two different commands. So let me add a run.bat file, and this is where we write our command set echo of, and then this is our source, and this is our Java running command. Okay, pasted. So let's test it out. Run.bat, and both of the thing does. Set echo elf. Right, echo off. So this is what the result is. So let's try to add one variable, let's say 12, and let's print it out. What will be the size? So in our hypothesis, the size must be 1 before 0, and then after adding 1, it must give us the size. Size is 1. Now let's try to add one more. 22. Let's compile. Size is still 1, because if you look at the code inside the add, so previously, like none of the data has been stored, the length of the array will be 0. Hence, that will add one value. It increases the value of the integer of the array, and that stores into 0. So that means if you're adding one more, so that means the length is no more 0. So that means we have to go to the else condition. Now, the problem is if we use the same array and try to increment the length plus 1, what will actually happen is this new keyword will remove all the previous data and reinstantiate with the new index. So that is the very difficult things. So in that case, we need to introduce one more variable called, let's say, ARR1. So, and what we know is the new container is the one size bigger than the one that we have, because we are trying to add one more value, right? So for int I equals to 0, I less than ARR.length. So let's fill it in with the previous data that we have in the new array. 1 I equals to ARR I. So using this for loop, ARR1 will have all the data that ARR has. So what we know is the size of the ARR1 is one length bigger than the ARR. So that means the last index of ARR1 is the length of ARR. So that means we can use this one and store the value of n into that last index. Now, ever since we're accessing the ARR, ARR1 is just the temporary. So that means we need to reassign the ARR with ARR1. So now let's see, adding this algorithm, what it actually does. Let's run the bat command and let's check it out. The size is 2. Let me one more add All right, so 22, 32, 42, and then 52. So we have added all together 5 new values in our dynamic list, and it must return the size of 5. And that's the result. That means our array has already become a dynamic array that can store as much value as you want. Now, what if you want to remove, right? So what is the basic concept of removing? So let's take an example. Let's say we have a value in our array 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, and then 10. Now let's assign the index for each values. 0 for 3, 1 for 6, 8 for 2, 3 for 9, and then 4 for 10. 10 for 4, 4 for 10. Now let's see, if you want to remove the value of second. So every time you remove one by one, then total length will be, total size of the array length will be decreased by 1. That's the concept, right? So now if you try to remove the second one, 0, 1 must be there, and then 3. Third index must convert it into the second, and fourth index must be converted into the fourth one. Let's see how to do that one. Now, first of all, let's print out all the values that we have actually stored. Public int array get all. So return ARR. Let's see, the values that we have actually stored is whether stored or not. For inti in list dot get all, and if we print the value of I right after this line, let's see if we have all the values that we have added. There you go. So we have actually stored 12, 22, 32, 42, and 52. So these are the values which has already dynamically stored into our new fixed array, right? New list, new dynamic list. So that's how we can identify that our algorithm is working. So let's try to remove the value and see whether it will automatically reindex the value or not. So the basic concept of removing, let's see, Boolean, right? Delete, and then we'll pass the index. Let's write a 2 different. Let's just make it void. I don't want to return anything. Let's just make it void, right? So now what we know is we again require another container, ARR1, let's say. So the new size of this ARR1 will be total length of the ARR1 minus 1, because we are removing the one value, right? So that means we have re-indexed the value, because what we know is we will be decreasing. So if you delete, like if we have 5 records, if you delete 1, that will be 4 records, right? So and so. So now for int I equals to 0, I less than index, because we don't need that index anymore. That's a part of the removing, right? So 1 I equals to ARR I. So let's say these are the values that we have: 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, and 10. If you are planning to remove the index number 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, this third index, right? If you want to remove this, these 3 numbers must be there, and these 2 must be there. So using this loop, if we are planning to remove this 7 number, then these many records will be stored into the index first. Now then we need to write another for loop, int I, again you can use that one, equals to index plus 1, because we don't need that index value anymore. And then I is less than ARR dot length and then I plus plus, right? Now, what do we actually know is, like the index number is already there, right? So then, all right, so ARR1, there is no I, we can use it. We can use the index. We can use the index number because from the index, that's where we are using, right? So index, or we can use another number. For example, let's say int j equals to index, and this is where we add a j, and equals to ARR, the value of the I, and we increment the j plus plus. Okay. So then we reassign back ARR with ARR1. All right. So let's try to delete before we print out all the values. So what we know already is we have these 5 records. I want to remove this index. Let's say 0, 1, 2, 32, right? So let's see, list.delete the index number 0, 1, 2, 2. If I remove these, then without 32, that must display. So let's print out the size after deleting as well. Now look at these ones. So before we add anything inside our list, there were 0 size, right? Then we added 5 different values. Then it showed us the index, the size of the value of our list is 5. Then we deleted, so that means there is a 4. So we deleted 32, so that means 12 is there, 22 is there, then after that 42 is there, and then again 52 is there. Let's try to remove one again, the same index, and see what happens. Right? So that means 12 is there, 22 is there, 32 gone, 42 gone, and then only the 52 is remaining. So this is how you can actually write your own dynamic list. So if you're working with the array, if you have given a choice to work with the array only, and if there are no other libraries available, you can write your own algorithm and then make the thing works. Hope I have helped you to convert your normal algorithm, normal array into the dynamic. Thank you very much. So for more information, you can join Greatest CIBT. Like we are at Kumaripati. If you want to need more information, you can go to our Facebook page, which is https://creators.ibt, or you can also contact us to our website, creators.institute. Okay, thank you very much.